Tonight, chilling new details of an alleged terror plot targeting Taylor Swift concerts. Police reveal a scheme to kill as many people as possible. How the suspects apparently plan to use explosives and knives to carry out their murderous attack. The tactics of terrorists radicalizing teenagers online.
There is an uptick in the radicalization of young people.
Also, revelations of police negligence and the parents forced to stay quiet about the findings into the death of their hockey player's son.
But for months, they were muzzled.
Couple of questions, please, Ken.
Plus, confronting the hot tub repairman in hot water, accused of grabbing deposits, then ghosting customers.
It was almost like a light switch flipped off.
And Canada's Olympic medal haul grows.
My motto is raise the bar wherever you go, so I had no choice but to keep raising.
Another silver and bronze in the bag as the women's beach volleyball team goes for gold.
CTV National News with Omar Sachedina.
Good evening, everyone. There are dramatic new details tonight in the foiled terrorist attack at a Taylor Swift concert in Vienna. Investigators say a 19-year-old who recently quit his job was prepared to kill himself and many others. And another teen who was arrested recently took a job at a Taylor Swift concert venue. CTV's Alison Bamford on the reaction from Swift's fans and the impact on her tour.
A dream come true for Addison Stastuk's 11th birthday turned into a nightmare.
It was disappointing, but it was nice that, we were all going through it.
News of Taylor Swift's 3 Vienna concerts canceled, heartbreaking for these Toronto fans.
To tell your daughter that she's not going to a concert because of a potential terrorist attack is not a conversation as a parent you think that you're going to have.
You should see the things we do. Swifties tried to shake it off, singing in the streets of downtown Vienna. Others trading friendship bracelets.
Thank you so much.
Austrian police arrested 2 teenagers in relation to the plotted suicide attack that officials believe was planned for Thursday or Friday outside the concert venue. 65,000 fans were expected at each show, with as many as 30,000 others watching from outside. Today, the Austrian chancellor saying it's unimaginable to think what immeasurable damage would have been done had the plan succeeded. The main suspect, a 19-year-old man, recently pledged allegiance to the Islamic State online, but ISIS hasn't claimed responsibility. Police found bomb-making materials inside his home. The other suspect, a 17-year-old, was recently hired by a company working for the venue, and another 15-year-old was interrogated. Authorities aren't looking for any others, bringing relief to Swifties still in Vienna.
It gives me a lot of peace knowing that I'm no longer going to be there and these men are in custody.
Swift's concert dates in London are going ahead as planned next week, according to authorities there. As for her Canadian stops, Toronto police say comprehensive security will be in place.
We will keep everyone safe and sound. I am not worried at all.
Swift has yet to address the planned attack, but in the past called this her biggest fear and worried about her fans' safety after the Manchester arena bombing in 2017 and the mass shooting at a concert in Las Vegas. Omar?
All right, Allison, thank you. Hitting soft targets like concerts is part of a growing trend by ISIS, which isn't just targeting teens. Increasingly, it's also recruiting them. CTV's Adrian Gobriel takes a closer look.
The silence surrounding the stadium in Vienna, a chilling reminder this week of the reach of radicalization. Closer to home, Canadian flags mark the front door of a Toronto residence where police say a father and son with alleged ties to ISIS lived. The 2 arrested just last week.
There are people out there who are prone to radicalization.
Some are now questioning whether or not we're witnessing a renewed focus by extremists to radicalize members of the public online or in their communities. Former CSIS counterterrorism analyst John Gilmore believes some bad actors are preying on the global instability playing out across the world.
There's obviously a big concern now of how the Israeli conflict with Hamas in Gaza is going to impact on jihadist-based terrorism, both domestically, as we've seen, and globally as well.
Radicalization is a deadly tactic that has historically proved successful. November 2015, terrorists kill 130 people across Paris, including inside the Bataclan concert hall.
Oh my God.
May 2017, Islamic extremists killed 22 in Manchester following a concert by American pop singer Ariana Grande. March of this year, Islamic terrorists slaughtered 145 people at a music venue in Moscow. It's an assault not only on the lives of concert goers, but our collective sense of safety and freedom.
There's precedence for these kind of attacks going back a number of years. So why not think that something like this could have been successful as well?
Some security analysts are expressing concerns about a potential copycat plot and are reminding the public to remain vigilant. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Toronto.
Dramatic new body cam footage tonight from the attempted assassination of Donald Trump at his Pennsylvania rally last month.
I told them they need to post the guys over here. I told them that the Secret Service. I told them that Tuesday.
The video shows the chaos and confusion in the moments leading up to the shooting and how local law enforcement blamed the Secret Service for the security lapse. It shows two officers trying to intercept the gunman on the roof. One officer hoisting another who sees the gunman and then falls to the ground. That officer then goes back to his car to grab a weapon.
It's close, bro. Dude, he turned around on me.
When backup arrives, there's an apparent lack of communication about which building the gunman is on.
I was calling out, bro. On top of the roof. Are we on the same frequency?
And minutes after the gunman is killed, more frustration from local police about how the Secret Service allowed the shooter to get so close in the first place.
I told them they need to post the guys over here. No, we're inside. Why were we not in the building? I talked to the Secret Service guys. They're like, yeah, no problem. We're going to post guys over here.
Days later, the head of the U.S. Secret Service tendered her resignation. And there is word tonight Donald Trump and Kamala Harris are set for a presidential debate showdown September 10th.
I look forward to the debates because I think we have to set the record straight. We think we should do 3 debates. We think Fox and ABC, and we also have CBS is going to do the vice presidential debate.
So far, Harris has only confirmed she'll take part in one.
Well, I'm glad that he's finally agreed to a debate on September 10th. I'm looking forward to it and hope he shows up.
In a lengthy news conference today, Trump criticized Harris for not doing any sit-down interviews since Biden stepped aside 18 days ago. But the attacks also got personal, Trump repeatedly suggesting Harris wasn't intelligent enough to debate him. Israel says it has accepted a U.S. offer to send a delegation to finalize a ceasefire and hostage deal next week. It comes as Canada and other Western countries condemned one of Israel's top government officials. The country's finance minister suggested the starvation of more than 2 million Palestinians, quote, might be just and moral until hostages are released. Canada's embassy in Israel responding on X, saying these inflammatory comments undermine prospects for peace. Meanwhile, in an interview with Time magazine, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he is deeply sorry that the October 7th attack happened, but that his role in the security failure should be investigated after the war. And in Bangladesh, a new interim leader was sworn in today. 84-year-old Nobel laureate Muhammad Yunus replaces Sheikh Hasina after the world's longest-serving female head of government resigned and fled to India after student-led demonstrations left hundreds dead. 4 Toronto area police officers involved in investigating the death of an Ontario teenager have been found negligent by provincial police. It comes more than 4 years after 17-year-old Ben Teague died during a team-building event hosted by his minor hockey team. TSN senior correspondent Rick Westhead has been tracking the story and joins us now. And Rick, getting answers for this family has been such a devastating ordeal. First, they lose their son, and then they were prevented from even talking about the findings of negligence.
Yeah, that's right. And again, these findings of negligence are connected to the extreme delays in the police investigation over years that York Regional Police didn't move forward on this. The family found out about the OPP's report concluding there'd been negligence in October, but for months they were muzzled. They were told that they were not allowed to share the OPP's findings. They pushed back and said this was in the public interest for people to know about what happened to Ben and during the subsequent investigation, and finally got the permission to make these results public.
So have the investigating officers been reprimanded at all?
Another great question. I reached out to York Regional Police and didn't receive a response. And if you actually look at the report, it says that the force will deal with the sanctions against these officers informally, whatever that means. So still no clarity on what penalties they might face.
So still a lot of questions about police accountability, about how Ben died, and also legal accountability as well.
Yeah, that's right. And again, this is we're not near the end of this story, so to speak. Hockey Canada has an independent third party that's still investigating what happened here and how this boy could have died under the care and supervision of his team's coaches. And the family also has $1 million lawsuit against Hockey Canada, the Ontario Hockey Federation, and the Oakville Rangers program. And in that case, no trial date has been set just yet.
All right, Rick, thank you for this tonight. The drone spying scandal that rocked Canada's women's soccer team could soon make its way to Parliament Hill. An MP is pushing for top current and former coaches to testify in Ottawa in the coming weeks. CTV's Michael Couture has the story.
The spying scandal involving Canada Soccer is moving from the pitch to Parliament Hill. A motion is set to be tabled when MPs come back in September, summoning the key figures to testify before a parliamentary committee.
Did nobody think that sending drones in the air on and other teams was a bad idea?
NDP MP Nikki Ashton wants to put that question to women's team coach Bev Priestman and assistant coaches Jasmine Mander and Joseph Lombardi, plus former men's team coach John Herdman. TSN has reported Canada's men's and women's teams have used drones to film other teams' practices for years.
We're doing a review to specifically obtain a full understanding of these situations and what others may exist.
Ashton believes the spying affair is a sign of a problematic culture in the Soccer Federation.
I think it is critical that Parliament seek accountability from everyone involved, including Soccer Canada, and ensures that this kind of cheating, these kind of scandals never happen again.
In a statement to CTV News, Canada Soccer refused to comment on the MP's motion, saying their own independent external review is currently underway and therefore it would be inappropriate for us to interfere or comment further on these matters.
The government, I think, is right to step in here to make sure
Amy
that
Walsh
the right
played
steps
for the women's national team from 1998 to 2009. She says this is a pivotal moment for the program.
Is Canada Soccer and the beacon that it was for women's soccer growth, for success, will that be tarnished going forward? Will players who are dual nationals think, I don't want to play for Canada, I don't want to win that way?
CTV News has reached out to the representatives of the four involved, asking them if they would agree to testify, and we've yet to hear back. Now, it is worth noting, if someone refuses, the committee does have the power to issue a summons, compelling those people to appear. Omar.
All right, Mike, thanks. Remnants of Debbie are hammering parts of the eastern U.S. as the tropical storm makes its way to Canada.
Looked back out the back door and I seen a twister going across the backyard and stuff was flying, and I went down there praying.
Debbie made a second landfall this morning, dumping more rain on North and South Carolina, flooding roads and destroying buildings. The storm has killed at least 7 people. Heavy rain is in the forecast for Canada. Montreal could get more than half a month's worth tomorrow, and Ottawa and Eastern Ontario up to 100 millimeters, which would be record-breaking. Passengers flying WestJet are being told to prepare for more possible delays and cancellations. The airline grounded 10% of its fleet after some aircraft were pummeled by hail during a major storm in Calgary this week. WestJet says 16 planes are in need of major repairs and inspections before they can take off again. 250 flights have already been canceled. The airline says travelers should check flight status before going to the airport. Coming up.
He ghosted me. He would not return a call, would not return a text.
The hot tub repairman who made a promise to fix but fled instead. Plus, Canada makes history at the Olympics in Paris. Police in Edmonton are investigating dozens of complaints of fraud against a hot tub repairman. Customers claim he stole thousands of dollars and in some cases, even their hot tubs. CTV's Nav Senga has the story.
Dion Byer was due for a new hot tub, so he says he reached out to Kenneth Nichols, owner of 24-hour hot tub service. Byer says Nichols fixed his old hot tub before, so he trusted him.
He seemed very honest, professional. He seemed to show up when he was going to show up. Had no problem answering my phone calls.
This time, he says it was different. Byer says they both agreed on a tub and was told it would take 4 to 6 weeks for the parts to come in. Byer also agreed to a deposit of $3,500. He paid it and then...
It was almost like a light switch flipped off and I could, communication almost ceased to exist at some point.
Byer says when Nichols would reply, he had plenty of excuses for his silence.
And he said, "I'm sorry, I apologize. My daughter has cancer. She's in the hospital. We're taking turns. I'll get back to you as soon as I can."
Months later, Byer says he never got his hot tub or his money back. Police tell CTV News they're now investigating more than 30 fraud-related complaints against Nichols. Police claim Nichols took large deposits from clients and failed to deliver on the transactions. They also believe he sometimes refused to return customers' hot tubs and also sold used or damaged hot tubs.
So this was the hot tub that he came to see, right?
That's correct. And he wanted to suggest I replace the cover.
One of those complainants is Travis Saplatinsky. He paid Nichols more than $1,200 up front for a new hot tub cover.
He's told me specifically he's been scammed out of money when people have not prepaid for the tub cover.
After the payment,
he ghosted me. He would not return a call, would not return a text.
Police won't share the total amount of money Nichols allegedly took. People we spoke with say they filed civil claims against him, but he didn't show up to court. Court documents show he owes more than $13,000 to 2 plaintiffs. Further documents show he did not pay his employees. We went to Nichols to hear his side of the story.
Hey Ken, how's it going? I'm Nav Senga, I'm a reporter for CTV News Edmonton. I just have a couple of questions about the... Come on, a couple of questions, please, Ken.
Police say Nichols now works from home and advertises his services on Kijiji. They're still investigating and no charges have been laid. Nav Senga, CTV News, Edmonton.
Still ahead.
Do we think that these astronauts should get back in that Starliner and come home on that?
Exploring the solutions to bring back stranded astronauts in space. Well, it could be SpaceX to the rescue after Boeing bungled its Starliner test flight mission. 2 NASA astronauts have been stranded on the International Space Station for 7 weeks and counting. And as CTV's Garrett Berry tells us, it could take 8 months to bring them home.
The days keep ticking by for veteran astronauts Barry Wilmore and Sunita Williams. June's excitement of reaching the International Space Station has transformed into a long wait. And NASA's top decision makers are now acknowledging the pair may not make it home until February 2025. The trip was only supposed to last a week, a demo of sorts for Boeing's Starliner program. But helium leaks have plagued the capsules, hurting the thruster system. Boeing has undergone weeks of testing, but NASA officials said yesterday they're getting a bit more unsure that the spacecraft can meet high safety standards and bring the astronauts home. So NASA is now considering whether it should dump the capsule back to Earth empty and alter future plans to ensure an upcoming mission has enough room to bring the duo home.
The narrative that we're all having here on Earth is that they're stuck in space because that's a really fun story to tell. But the truth is that they went up there to accomplish a mission. And if you told them on the day they launched, hey, you're going to be up there for 6 months, they wouldn't have blinked.
But Boeing's reputation is on the line, and so is their challenge to SpaceX, which has been doing similar jobs since 2020.
The conversation right now that's happening internally at NASA is, do we think that these astronauts should get back in that Starliner and come home on that, thereby sort of ensuring that the Starliner program keeps going? Or Do we say it's not worth the risk?
The astronauts are not without food, extra clothing, or work to do, but NASA can't keep them in space forever. The agency says it will make a final call on how they are coming home next week. Garrett Berry, CTV News, St. John's.
Canadians will have to wait until the weekend for a spectacular light show in the night sky. The annual Perseid meteor shower is expected to be brightest on Sunday evening into Monday across the northern hemisphere. In the right conditions, it's possible to see 50 to 100 meteors each hour. And on the ground, a mystery in the art world. Hours after Banksy's latest work was revealed in South London, it appears to have been stolen. An image of a wolf howling at the moon and stenciled on a satellite dish was removed. Someone wearing a mask was seen passing it down to two others below taking off. This is Banksy's fourth piece of art released in the UK in recent days. The first near West London's Kew Bridge was a stenciled image of a goat perched on a ledge with rocks falling down below. After the break, adding to Canada's medal count, athletes breaking records in Paris, and tomorrow, a shot at gold. Canada picked up silver and bronze medals today and a shot at gold tomorrow at the Olympics in Paris. It brings our total medal count to 21, just 3 shy of the Games in Tokyo, with just 3 days to go. CTV's Scott Hurst has the highlights.
It is an Olympic Games Maud Chiron will never forget, from opening ceremony flag bearer to now a 2-time Olympic medalist. The 31-year-old from Rimouski, Quebec, just the second Canadian weightlifter to win 2 Olympic medals. Winnipeg's Skylar Park clinching a bronze medal in Taekwondo today. The 25-year-old claiming Canada's first medal in the sport since the Beijing Olympics. On the beach, Canada will play for gold at Eiffel Tower Stadium tomorrow. The duo of Melissa Jimena Paredes and Brandy Wilkerson are now assured a medal after battling back against the Swiss team to win their semifinal match in 3 sets today. Canada has never won a medal in women's beach volleyball. Sarah Mitten has given herself a good chance at the podium in shot put. The Nova Scotia native moving on to tomorrow's final with the best throw in qualifying. On the track, redemption for Andre DeGrasse and his fellow countrymen. Despite nursing a hamstring injury, DeGrasse anchored the men's 4x100-meter relay team to a spot in tomorrow's final. And not to be outdone, the women's 4x100-meter relay team qualified for the final race as well, setting a Canadian record.
My motto is raise the bar wherever you go.
And that's exactly what Alicia Newman had to do to vault her way to the podium last night, setting a new Canadian record.
A lot of the girls say if Alicia's having fun, she's going to be hard to beat. And so I think I was really able to bring that in yesterday.
This is Canada's first ever medal in women's pole vaulting. Something new to watch out for tomorrow as breakdancing finally makes its much anticipated Olympic debut, Omar.
Should be quite something, and we'll be rooting for them all in this final stretch. All right, Scott, thank you. That's a snapshot of this Thursday for all of us at CTV National News. Thank you for watching, and good night.